There are positive signs happening in the Austin real estate market. Let's jump into what's happening and review the data from October. Jumping right into it, here's the housing price index right now nationwide. You can see here in Texas, we're at 2.59%. Now, that's not reflective of specific Austin, Texas. We will be a little bit smaller than that, right? Because our market has absolutely been different than Dallas and Houston and any other city or state right now. But we do know at least nationwide, we do see an increase in appreciation overall. Now, when we jump into the historical rates or interest rates in the last 30 years, the public should understand that when we're at these rates right now, what third quarter was 6.5%, and we've reduced since then. Look at the overall history. All the way back in 1994, we're at 8.38%. Then you get to about 2009, and you see rates really dipped into the 5-4% for that like 8-9 year period of time. But then we went back to normal just in recent history. So if you're a buyer, understand that expecting rates down to 2 or 3% is so unusual. That was like a one-time blip in history that was in 2020. So definitely know that our rates hovering at the 6% is definitely an average and normal compared to the last 30 to 50 years. Now let's talk about the forecast for 2025. Right now, here in 2024, we're projecting about 4.7 million homes sold. And when you're looking at these sources for the future, so Fannie Mae, MBA, and NAR, they're all projecting an average of 5.4 million homes sold in 2025. Now, nobody has a crystal ball. I totally understand that. However, this is factoring so many points of data, including the reduction of interest rates that have recently occurred in the last 3 months. So that's really, really a great sign for the Austin housing market. Now, more than half of homeowners would be motivated to buy with rates under 6%. Right now, 52% of that poll just said, hey, they would go ahead and purchase. And we know this to be true because when rates did dip slightly under 6%, we had a larger improvement of mortgage applications, pre-approvals too. So this is a really, really good indication of where 2025 should be because we're hovering right under that 6% or right at that 6%. The public just needs to be informed about what's happening. And once the political world is done in November, expect that to happen all of first quarter of 2025. Now, also, here's some other data from Salim Hemp. Currently, economic projections for 2025 are positive, which points to a positive outlook for the housing market. So it's just source after source after source that's very optimistic for 2025. So let's talk about the data from just this last month. First of all, our days on market are now 70, so it's increased. And that's expected because fourth quarter of every year always has longer days on market. So this is following a very normal balanced market trend. New listings were flat year over year. Funny enough, I never see this, 3,695 listings. That's exactly the same number as last September of 2023. So that's unique. The close price to original the close price to original list price, meaning if you wanted $500,000, did you get it? Well, not quite. We're seeing that sellers are reducing the price, right, to that 94% in order to sell. The median list price is $469,000, and the median close price is $425,000. That makes sense, right? The sellers want more, but buyers are offering less. For active listings, we're at 12,998 and 2,257 sold listings, which means if you look at kind of like the active listings versus pre-pandemic, we're about 43% more listings that we have available on the market. That's a whopping amount to choose from. So that's really, really good as a buyer as of this moment. And as a seller, it just means it takes a little bit longer to sell, right? We're also at 5 months of inventory. So again, buyers, you do have a lot to choose from. Now, here's some cool bits of data that I've included recently. If you follow us, what are the single family homes price points and how are they actually selling, right? What percentage of homes are selling? So if you are selling a home up to $500,000, then 22% of those homes are sold, right? That would be, for example, 1,433 homes last month when there were 6,400 listings for sale. If you were priced between 500,000 and 1 million, only 15% of homes were sold. If you're between 2 to 3 million, only 7% were sold. And anything between 3 to 5 million, 4% of homes sold. So take a look at this, pause the screen, and it's kind of a little bit of an eye opener, right? Buyers, let's go into you. Fourth quarter is going to be phenomenal. I am personally under contract with a home to purchase and another investment home because I know this is going to be one of the last chances I can get to get the cheapest home possible before all the buyers come back to the market and make the prices increase. I don't want to do that. I don't want to pay more money. Now, new home interest rates are also lower, between 1.99 to 4.5%. So if you're interested in a new build, every week the incentives change, sometimes on Mondays and sometimes on Fridays. And we know the builders that are giving the most amazing rates. So if that's of interest, ask away. Also, resale interest rates, yes, they reduced. Move-in ready, price correctly homes, they still are going to multiple offer situation. So if you're around the $350,000, $400,000 price point, yeah, there's going to be competition. The buyer interest rates, the buyer interest has improved because of the lower rates, and sellers will negotiate on inspection repairs and some closing costs. But here's the exception. If the home is on the market for at least 30 plus days, that's when you can get the best deal. Just don't expect the home condition to be perfect. Now, home prices, again, priced under 400,000 will still likely be competitive, and homes will be in better condition now versus the pandemic time. Now, anticipate prices to increase in Q1 of 2025, obviously, because rates are reducing and people then can have a more affordable monthly payment. Sellers, let's talk about you. There's some good news too. We're at the tail end of the cooling period in the last few years of reduction in values. So we're just about to turn that corner, which is phenomenal. Active listings are still higher, right? You do have more competition, and the days to sell are about the same. So even though it's taking a little bit longer for days on market, at least we know that's normal for Q4. We do have 5 months of inventory, so you still have competition, and that's been a consistent theme in the last 4 months. Very, very, very normal. Interest rates, they reduce, so expect a little bit more interest in your property because there's more buyers that are coming back to the market. And the negotiation power, really cool, by the way. As a seller, you've gained a little bit more power back if you're within a certain price point. So if you're under $500,000, we're closer to more of a balanced market, which is great. So you're not just giving away the whole world right now. However, if you're above $500,000, it's still a heavy buyer's market. You're definitely going to be negotiating, and you definitely have to be priced correctly in order to sell at the highest and best price. Unique homes are very popular right now. They will absolutely get sold. And when we say unique, it doesn't mean the floor plan. It means what you did cosmetically to the interior. If it's just a blank slate, those homes really do sit a lot longer. But if you have some unique features, which we're happy to go ahead and help guide people on what those are, then absolutely it's going to sell faster. And then the selling and, of course, the marketing strategy, it must be excellent. I know I repeat this every month, but it's so true. The amount of listings we see that have nothing about the area, nothing stated about the parks nearby or restaurants nearby is kind of crazy. So how do buyers know about the area unless they live there already, right? So I tell you what, if you have any questions about what's happening, you're a past client and you just want to know your market value, or you know what, you just have some basic questions, you want to know what's happening, give us a call, give us an email. We're happy to help. All right. See you next month.